Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wild 94 on the Bay's #1 hit music station, DJ E-Rock in the building. And I feel like this guy has been like a part of my family. He's been in my household for, dude.
Forever. I'm old. Just say I'm old,
You're
E-Rock.
not old, man.
I'm old.
You are a legend. You are one of the greats, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Yo is in the building right now. How you feeling?
Man, I loving life. Everything is great. I got a family. I got kids. I mean, there's nothing more to live for, man. I'm just doing my thing and just loving every single minute of life. I love it. Let me tell you this. I feel I'm in a better spot than I've ever been in my life. Mentally, physically, everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, what contributes to that? Like, do you have like a certain regimen that you're doing now?
I do.
Or
I'm like a robot. Like literally, I eat the same thing pretty much every day.
You're a very happy robot.
I'm
by
a
the way.
very happy robot. I'm AI to the next level. You know what I mean? I work out. My wife is amazing. Like my dad gave me the best advice before I got married or looked for someone to marry. He goes, "Look, marriage is hard, but it shouldn't be real hard." You know? And he also told me life is easy. Don't find people to make it hard. So I took that advice, and my wife is amazing. My kids are awesome. I'm touring. I'm living my dream. You know, and that's what it's about.
That's amazing. I mean, you've done media for quite a long time. Television, radio. Now
Since
you're doing.
I was 16 years old, yeah.
How long ago was that? I'm
30,
just kidding. You don't
No.
gotta,
I don't care. I'm old. I'm 50, bro.
You're 50?
I'm 50.
Dude, you don't look a day over 21, bro.
I know. It's black don't crack, Asian no raisin. That's the way we roll, baby.
Man, but you're doing comedy now.
Yes.
You're touring. You know, you've got a residency in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Can we talk about that residency real quick? It's every
Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We started an early show, and we're going to see how it goes. Because my thing is starting at 6 o'clock show. I know it's early for Vegas, but I was like, there got to be people out there that visit or that live here that want to go to bed by 8:30 or 9 like me. You know what I mean? I love early bedtime.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So last week we kicked it off, and it went really well, surprisingly well for 6 o'clock, and we're going to keep building it. Hopefully we can build it to a thing. Then I don't ever have to perform late again in Vegas. I can just do 6 o'clock shows and be done with it and be home by 8.
I have to perform late in Vegas all the time.
No.
I do it. That's my thing.
That's bad.
Sometimes it's tough. Because I will be on the couch just waiting for 1 a.m. to pop along, and I'm just like, Jesus.
Wait a minute. You go on at 1 a.m.?
I go on at 1 a.m.
Oh,
12:30 is early for me.
Oh, see that? No, I would be sleeping by then. I would have missed every gig. I can't stay up till 1.
So if I invite you to the club,
you will never see me at a club at 1 a.m.
Oh,
never.
Wow.
Never, E-Rock. Never.
Well, we got to change
it was
that.
a special.
Just maybe. How about this for like my 45th birthday?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I will be there. I will be there. They'll wake me up at about 12:30 and be like, "Hey, wake up," and then go to the party. And then yes, because I will be sleeping, but I will go.
So let me ask you this: now that you're doing comedy, and I remember you, like I said, like from television, from radio, and all that. Like, how was that transition? Like, going into a space that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, was it a foreign space? I mean, was it different? Like how was that?
I think, and look, I get in trouble with a lot of comedians. I think anyone that does radio can do stand-up comedy. Because radio, if you're good at it, you have to paint pictures with words, right? Mm-hmm. And then once they can see you, if you're funny on the radio, you can be funny on stage because they can see you now. If you make somebody laugh without them seeing you, that's a skill.
Yeah.
Once they see you, it's easier. So I think anyone that can do radio, if they really tried, they could do stand-up. 100%.
So I could do stand-up then?
100%.
Really?
You would just need to know what to talk about.
Sometimes I think I'm not funny enough, though.
Well, you don't need to be funny all the time. You don't need to be funny all the time. You just got to be like – I had great mentor, too, Jo Koy. We were on this show called Chelsea Lately. It was such a huge show. And – we lived next door to each other. We did a podcast. We got this podcast, 21 episodes from 2011, 2012. It's called The Yo Show. Everybody check that out. So that was epic. And this is when Joe wasn't even selling out clubs. Like, he's selling out arenas now.
Wow.
And it was amazing to see him rise and do his thing. And he brought me along for like 3 years. He took me on the road, taught me how to do comedy. And I remember the first time he told me to do comedy. He goes, "You got all the same family stories I have, except your dad is black. We both have Asian moms." He goes, "That's where you need to be. You need to be where people are actually caring about you more than the joke, because that's how you become a real life sitcom and people will continue to follow you. So that's why I jumped into comedy and absolutely love it.
How is that though? Like, now that you're doing like, your own thing in the comedy space, and to be able to have like someone like Jo Koy as like your mentor, and to be able to say that, hey, we started from the very bottom before anything. Yeah. Before anything and anybody was anybody in this space.
He started like 18 years before me at the bottom. Like I was lucky because I had a person he didn't have a person like him to help him. I had him that is now one of the biggest comedians bring me in, and I've had tons of help from other comedians because podcasting blew up. So now if you have a project and you make friends with comedians, you can go on their show, they'll come on your show. So it's a community where when Joe started 18 years ago, he was outside Laugh Factory just handing out like CDs and just grinding tapes.
Like a DJ with mixtapes.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So his grind was a lot harder than mine, and I was lucky. I came in from TV to do stand-up, so people knew who I was. But it's like anything. Once you're there, you got to be funny and you got to keep producing, and that's what I love about it. And that's what separates a great comic, a good comic, from just a guy that's doing comedy. You got to put in the work.
No, for sure. So let me ask you this. Like, for me, I've been on the radio for quite some time. I'd say 25 years.
Yeah.
All right. Not trying to date myself,
No,
but
it's okay.
Some people look at me, hey, just like you said, Asian don't raisin.
Asian don't raisin.
When people find out my real age, it's like, yo, for real?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Like, if I wanted to make that transition into being a comedian or into doing TV or something like that, what's a great piece of advice that you can tell me, like now?
My first piece of advice, have a real job. Because you ain't going to make no money doing stand-up when you first start. None.
Wow.
I would drive 4 hours. Now, I was on TV. I was lucky. And this is the different grind I did than Joe did. When he would drive 4 hours to get $25, right? I would drive $4 to get $25, but I was working for CBS too. Mm-hmm. So I could do that. You know, I could afford that. But that's the grind. You got to find open mics. Where in Vegas, though, if you live in the Bay, Vegas, there's lots of mics you can get on. We're very lucky. And when I say mics, open mics. So you got to go on. You got to just go on and
got to put yourself out there
all the time.
Yeah,
because you don't know if it's funny unless you go on.
And you never know who's in the crowd.
Well, at an open mic, nobody in the crowd. Like other comics in the crowd. But when you live in L.A., movie producers, TV producers, they're always in the crowd. And a lot of people get deals or discovered that way. So yeah, you don't know who's in the crowd. So you always got to do your best. But at the same time, you have to try out new stuff and be able to risk looking bad in front of influential people.
Have you had those moments yourself?
Oh, you know what? I'm good enough right now.
Yeah.
Where if I try out new jokes, it's in the middle. So I have great opening, a great closing. Yeah. So I kind of sandwich. But at the beginning, I mean, everything is, when you first start, and it's like mixing. You're terrible when you first start. You're doing train wrecks.
I've bombed a few nightclubs out here in Vegas before. Not a few. I'd say maybe one.
How's that feel? Because you're not up there for just 15 minutes. You're up there for like 2 hours bombing.
It made me who I was. Yeah. And I feel like, when you're not uncomfortable, there's no growth. And that was, my turning point. Like, I remember coming here and I remember playing at a club called Body English. It's no longer there. Mm-hmm. Amazing nightclub. Like all my homies.
Did it go out of business after you mixed? It was like
I probably put it out of business.
It closed down.
Like, that DJ, we're never coming back.
Right.
No, but I remember I came in, I DJ'd for I'd say I was supposed to DJ for 2 hours, and then I didn't make it past 30 minutes. I played a record, and at the time, house music, they would have these long, period, they would have these long periods of the song where it was down energy or a bridge or something like that. It was the euphoric part of the record, right? Yes. I remember I played World Hold On.
Yeah, which is a great song, Bob Sinclair.
But there's a part of that record where it's just low in energy.
Yeah.
And I remember I lost the room when that part of the record came on, and the manager of the nightclub comes up to me and he taps on my shoulder and he's like, "E-Rock, we love you, but it's not your night tonight. We're going to put the opener back on." And I'm like, holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got pulled. And I remember I had one of them, them flip cams or something like that. And I have the footage somewhere, and I got to find it. But I remember talking into the camera, and I was talking about how defeated I felt. Mm-hmm. But the first thing I said was, you know what? I'm going to be back.
Yeah.
I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be back with a vengeance. And sure enough, I did. Fast forward, that's about a good, 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hey, I can run around the city saying that I was voted best 2024 DJ.
There you go.
Like, you know, Las Vegas Weekly by the community.
Yes.
So, you know,
but that's the great stories, like comedy, you know, stories like that where, you know, I went through a lot of just trying to get stage time, driving 4 or 5 hours for $25. Wow. And now, you know, I'm getting booked every weekend in different cities. I'm doing the Gramercy in New York. I'm doing Chicago theater. I'm doing Minneapolis a theater. So now it's growing, and then you see the product and you're like, yo, now I've always been proud of what I do, but what I love about what I'm doing now, no one can tell me or no one can hold value over me, because when I lived in Hollywood, you get a lot of no's, right? Everybody.
It's the land of the no.
It's the land of the no.
100 no's for
everyone,
one yes.
Yes. So everybody has control of your future, right? Like, I'm up for a big game show right now. But guess what? I got to wait for other people to approve me or for me to be selected. I hate that feeling, especially the older you get. Because I know my value, and if you don't see that, I hate that there has to be meetings about my value, you know? But in comedy, you can go on after Bill Burr, after Chris Rock, after whoever, and your value is that stage. This is what I love about the stage, E-Rock. It does not discriminate. It does not care who you are. All that matters is if you're on it, you have to rock it, because the people, all you got to do is be funny. And the people don't matter if they saw. It doesn't matter who they saw before you. I went on in New York City after Jerry Seinfeld 3 times, and rocked it, and rocked it, and rocked it.
I mean, how does that feel? I mean, you got to be nervous. Like, yo, if I were to go on after like Cascade or like David Guetta or Tiesto, I would be like, yo, what do I play?
You know why I didn't? I think I would have been nervous earlier, but now there's ways to address it. Where look, when you have a great go on before you, how you get the audience on your side is don't pretend like they just weren't on stage. That's why I see so many comics go like, watch this, I'm gonna crush it, and go do their thing. You have
put
to
it all out there, leave it all out there on the stage.
You have to realize, like my first line, like I went on after Chris Rock or Jerry Seinfeld. I go, yo, can you believe it? Jerry Seinfeld on this show, and then give him his props. Give the person their props. They're a legend. Don't pretend like you didn't see what everybody else saw. Don't try to make it all about you. And then once the audience is like, oh, okay, yeah, he saw it too. And then you hit him with your first joke, boom, you're off. But the problem is, some comics when you're younger, you just like pretend like he was never there, and you do your set, and people still buzzing about what just happened, so you never get them on your side. But once you address what happened, you get them on your side. Because then you're like, man, that dude's a legend. One more time,
you're part of the crowd.
You're part of the crowd.
You're part of the party.
You're like, hey.
You're on their level. Like, yo, did you see that? I know you saw that. I saw that too.
It humbles.
Yes.
It humbles the room. And they're like, yo, this dude gets it.
Yeah.
He just saw what we saw. But these comics with a lot of ego, they don't do that, you know. And that's what I see. It could go really bad. It could go really bad. So it's an art. It's an art. But I'm confident I can go on after anybody, and I would feel confident.
So there is nobody in the world, not one comic, that you would feel a little bit uneasy about going on
because
after.
when you work at the Comedy Cellar in New York, you're going after all these people all the time.
You're just sharing the stage with legends, so you got to act like a legend.
Yeah.
You got to be the legend.
You know, it is. Because hopefully you will be one too, so you're just not there yet. But you are going to be
Well, you are a legend, though.
Well, I will, right? But
you are a legend. So.
And I'm going to be an overall legend in comedy, too. I want to be one of the greats. Like, I've never been shot. I want to be one of the greats in comedy. I want to be I met Dave Chappelle at the Netflix festival, and we were at an exclusive party, 100 of the top comics, and I got invited somehow. And I was there with Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. I mean, every great comic was there. And I walked up to Dave, introduced myself, and he goes, hey, man, I've seen your face. I don't know your comedy. I hope to watch it one day. So I want the next time I see Dave, he goes, I know your comedy and you're great. Like, you know what I mean? So that's something for me personally I want to build to, where he knows my stuff.
I feel that I had a moment like that recently with Big Boy.
Oh, I love Big Boy.
Yeah, I love Big. Shout out to Big Boy one time. Man, Big Boy came up to me. We had a photo shoot for Real 92.3 the other day, and he came up to me. I was like, yo, man, congratulations. And I looked at him like, for what? He was like, yo, you're making some waves out there. I was like, I am? How? I have no idea. Like, this is Big Boy.
Yeah, Big Boy. Legendary.
Yeah, legendary. Like, I mean, he is the voice of Los Angeles, So, like, no, I feel that. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to gain the respect of, like, those people that have been holding the culture up.
Yes.
Is just incredible.
It's incredible to see how many people, like, when we're in this industry, a lot of times we take it for granted. But, like, if you really look, even when I started in radio, was in radio, like on not a hip-hop level, but the Backstreet Boys, interviewing them the first time when nobody knew who they were. Or NSYNC, when I went to go see them the first time at a go-kart rink where you drive go-karts and 30 people showed up for NSYNC. And they were opening for LFO.
Wow. They were opening for LFO.
They were opening for LFO. And then to see 6 months later them selling out arenas, the explosion, and just to be a part of interviewing every single, from 50 Cent, you know, like when he blew up, and the first time I interviewed, it was so funny with 50 Cent. He was talking normal. As soon as you turn on those mics, it was like, it was like different person. I was like, what just happened?
He just flicked the switch.
Oh, he flipped it. He was like, hey, Mike, what's up? He was very normal. And then as soon as you turn on that mic, you nut. I was like, oh, my God. So, yeah, it's just fun to see those people when they first blow up because radio is always there at the beginning, especially back then.
Yeah. More than ever. Now you got social media and everything, Spotify, all that. It's
but back then, we were the voice.
Yes.
There was no other, like, to be on the radio was the biggest thing to an artist. Now artists don't want to even go to radio stations, because
especially
they don't
the
need
younger
it.
artists.
Well, they don't need it anymore. Yeah. They can just put up I got a new song, and then it's out,
One post, you can upload it from your phone.
What radio
That's it.
What radio used to do is break music. What radio does now is make a song keep going. That's the difference. Spotify,
Facts.
the artist, or whoever breaks the song, but radio will give it longevity, and radio will get you more sales.
Isn't it crazy, like how the word longevity, when you think about it back then, like, you're on the radio, like the longevity you can get is months, maybe even a year or two.
Yeah.
Now you're lucky if you get 3 weeks now.
I
The
know.
attention spans of people today are just so unreal.
It's almost a curse for it to blow up so fast because it goes away so fast.
Yes.
It's like a trend. You want one song, like if I would want a song, I can't remember the artist. One of my friends who's a record rep told me it took a year for that song to build, but that meant for a year it was being sprinkled on radio here and there, and then it got bigger and bigger. So that song had like a 2-year run because then it blew up after a year. As an artist, you're touring that year while it's blowing, and then when it blows up, you get that second pop. Now, like you said, if it's on a TV show, you blow up, and then by the time you put a tour together, the song's already done.
Yeah. Speaking of tours, you're going on tour soon, right?
I'm on a It's a True tour.
Okay.
My mom's Asian, and she says the rudest things, and she always goes, it's a true. So it's called the It's a True tour. I'm going to be in San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy. In a couple months, I'm going to be in New York, Chicago, Minneapolis, Austin. I'm everywhere. MichaelYo.com for everything.
I love that. And then, speaking of tours and speaking of the cities that you're visiting, which are, or what would you say is your favorite city to, perform in?
Favorite? I got a couple.
Okay.
San Francisco by far.
All right.
I love
Shout out to the Bay.
The Bay. I love the Bay. I love Texas because I'm from Texas.
Okay.
Anywhere in Texas. I'm doing a House of Blues in Houston and in Dallas. Love those places. And then, believe it or not, Denver. Denver is unbelievable.
Have I been to Denver ever? No, I haven't. I've only been to Denver Airport.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's it.
Denver.
I've had a layover there.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Denver is an amazing crowd for comedy.
Wow.
It's one of the best crowds. And, of course, New York. I mean, New York is just over the top, ridiculous, can't get better. It's like what I love about New York is what's different from L.A. and New York. When people come out to a show in L.A., it's like kind of like a vibe. I can do that. It's all industry. I can do that or make me laugh. Where New York is normal people that just want to laugh.
Yeah.
And I think it's way easier.
People are there for a reason, for a purpose.
For a night out.
Purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where L.A. it's more of, I tell everybody it's look who's coming in syndrome. Like in L.A., you at a restaurant, everybody looks at the door every time it opens because they want to see who's coming in.
I know it very well.
Oh, yeah, you were there, so
I lived there for a good amount of time.
Yeah, so now New York's not like that. Yeah. New York is like, we just want to laugh, and we don't care who it is. Where L.A., you get so many celebrity pop-ins. You know, they're like, all right, that's a good show, but who's coming in? You know, they're never happy. You know, they're like an Asian mom, just never happy, just always disappointed. You know, like, oh, that's all. Hey, Mom, I sold out a show. Oh, not two? Just one? Not two? You know, like, it's like, oh, my God, just one. Oh, so big. You know, like, that's my mom right there. Just
gotta love the moms.
Especially Asian moms. They're ruthless.
Oh, for sure.
They do not
Absolutely.
care about our feelings.
No.
But it makes us strong.
Yeah, it makes us strong, makes us resilient.
Yes.
You know, for sure. And it makes us all strive for better. My mom is a Salvadorian, but then I grew up, half a Salvadorian, half Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
But, there were a lot of like similar
well, Filipinos are nice though.
Very nice.
Like they're the
My
best.
dad was hard on me though.
Yeah,
he was on me about like things.
But Filipinos, you probably got 30 people at your house right now, right? Like that. I heard Filipinos. I heard Filipinos love to have people over.
I do love to have people over, but I do not have 30 people at the house right now.
Jo Koy does. Let me tell you, Jo Koy always has like 15 to 20 people at his house. I'm like, what is going on over there? But what I love about Filipinos, they will say, I love you.
Oh,
you know? Yeah. Other Asians don't.
That
you
is
realize
for sure.
that, right? Chinese, Vietnamese, anything with an ease, they don't say I love you at all.
Really?
Oh, no. Koreans.
Wow. Why is that?
Because that's the way, they don't hear it growing up. My parents never told me they loved me until I was 29. Yeah, so it's normal for Asians, like real Asians, not Filipino, real Asians. Filipino is not a real Asian. Those are nice Asians.
Oh, man. Michael Yo in the building right now. I appreciate you for making time out of your busy schedule.
Man, E-Rock, you're a legend, first of all.
I am not a legend.
I lived in L.A. I listen to you, and I'm happy you're doing your thing. Keep the Radio Basement going on.
Of course, man. I got it. I got to do it for the people. Got to do it for the culture, And, hey, but I will say this, man. Like I said, I grew up watching you on television, seeing a lot of, like, your content online when you were on the radio. And, man, you've been an inspiration to what I've been doing for quite a long time. So when I did ask you about, what can I do, like, to kind of, like, get bigger in this space or whichever, I was like, I was mind blown when you gave me that advice right there. I was like, Michael Yo is giving me advice right now.
No, I think what you got to do, and you're doing it right now. You're taping everything, you're putting it out. I tell, in comedy or in anything you do, this is the new game. And I tell every comic this, and it's sad, but true at the same time. So it's sad, but also it could be great if it happens to you. Everybody, just remember this, one video away from blowing up.
That's crazy.
Every single comic, every single DJ, every single person in the world right now is one video away from being a household name. Look at a Hot Tour girl. She went Hot Tour. The world knows
the world knew about
in
her.
a 15-second clip.
Then she put out a meme coin, and that didn't go too well.
No, that didn't go well.
That didn't go well at all.
Once you get it, it may not last long, but you got to know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's one video away.
Man, gems, game.
Let's go.
Michael Yo, thank you so much for stopping by the basement. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. They were getting 280,000 downloads an episode back in 2011.
For some reason, the mic just went out. Did it go out? Well, that's why I have these.
Yeah.
Damn. I had the wrong mic potted up. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Can we start over?
Yeah.
I'm a rookie. I'm sorry. Damn it.
It's all good. We can recreate. This is active.
Yeah. It's easy. All right, here we go. 3, 2. The editor's going to be like, damn, you're a fucking rookie. But luckily I have these, so we have that. So that's going to be good content later to cut. Like, yo, this shit really happens.
Bloopers.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.